New York politics has always been something fascinating to me. It's always had like some wild things going on there. Well, Kathy Hochul and Letitia James has had a forensic expert by the name of Sam Antar. He is a fellow Democrat, but he doesn't like corruption. And he has been digging into not just Hochul and James, but he's been digging into Democrat politicians there. And he was the one that came across the whole situation of Letitia James having a house here in Virginia. And of course, that's gotten out. Well, there's been some more information that's come out, and I haven't heard a lot of people covering this. And I thought this was really strange because this, as of now, was like 4 days ago. So it kind of got covered up by everybody talking about what's going on with Iran. But I thought that you folks might be interested in this because this is some corruption dealing with tax dollars, dealing with Hochul and James, just a whole bunch of craziness. So I'm going to let you hear this from Newsmax because wow is all I can say. Wow. Um, Also, thank y'all for the 500 viewer or subscribers. And if you like this sort of stuff, just hit like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Here we go.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Welcome back in. Corruption in the Democrat Party is at an all-time high as we see Democrat leaders in blue states and cities get rich as their constituents in those areas can barely afford the price of living. Our next guest is exposing the frauds lining their pockets with campaign funds and tax dollars, such as New York Governor Kathy Hochul. Turns out the governor has been living lavishly on taxpayer dime. Hochul, who signed legislation forcing fossil fuel companies to pay $75 billion for carbon emissions, has now spent $178,000 in taxpayer funds to go travel around on a private jet. But it turns out New York politicians, they're not just spending the taxpayer dollars, they're also getting rich using taxpayer dollars. The Office of New York Attorney General Letitia James has paid $483,000 in contracts to a law firm called Davis Polk, starting in April of last year. Coincidentally, though, those payments began just 4 months after William Hochul was hired by the company. William Hochul, obviously you know what the last name is the husband of Kathy Hochul. So fast forward to April of this year, Letitia James is under investigation from the DOJ for falsifying documents, saying she owed less property than she actually does as a way to secure lower interest rates. At the same time, James allegedly has been saying that she legally lives at a property in Virginia as a way to secure a better mortgage. Once this investigation was launched, corrupt Kathy Hochul knew it was time to return the favor for that $483,000 sent to her husband's employer. So last month, she passed a new budget, and it includes $10 million in legal funds for defense funds for Letitia James, paid for by New York taxpayers. Hochul claims New York Democrats are being targeted by Pam Bondi in the Department of Justice here.
She came after me. They're coming after the Attorney General. They're coming after a candidate for mayor. So the question is, when will Pam Bondi stop politicizing the Department of Justice and just do their jobs?
I think the better question for Kathy Hochul is when will New York Democrats stop stealing from the American taxpayer? And also, we've already seen what Democrats used the DOJ for, and that, of course, was prosecuting President Trump while on his way to a second term. Joining me now for more on this, the man who's uncovered it all, forensic accountant Sam Antar. Sam, good to see you
Thank
tonight.
you for having me on.
Yeah. All right, talk about this. We saw the post you made, piqued our interest here. This funneling of the money here. Go ahead.
The triangle,
Yes.
the triangulation.
Yes.
Well, let's start in February 2023.
Okay.
Actually, it's 2022.
Okay, back it up one
doesn't
more.
matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a contract that's made between the Attorney General's office and Davis Polk.
Okay.
It's approximately $325,000.
Great.
And in the meantime, Davis Polk is getting all kinds of money, $7 million from various government agencies, but this contract is dormant.
Right. That's what I saw. Nothing was
Right.
going on with it.
Right. Then Hochul's husband, William Hochul, joins the firm
Davis
on
Polk.
January 2nd, 2024.
Okay.
Right? The contract expires the end of the month of January, about 29 days later, 30 days later. The contract is then recorded, okay, on March 17th, which is approximately 400 plus days after the contract was entered into. In other words, it was recorded and approved. It's kind of like it didn't exist until it existed.
Until it comes in.
Right. Now the contract gets extended because Hochul is there, William Hochul is
Bill
there.
Hochul comes in.
Right. And all of a sudden, money starts flowing from the Attorney General's account 454 days after the contract was initiated. The money starts flowing in $483,000, give or take.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Then we got to fast forward. Okay. The money's there. It's flowing to William Hochul's law firm, Davis Polk. Then Tish James starts getting into trouble. You know, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, the
Things you helped expose.
things that helped expose.
Yes. Okay. It's getting a lot of traction.
Right. So around May, there was an announcement that the FBI was investigating. This is after it was already referred to the DOJ. And there's
Right.
also an announcement of a grand jury proceeding. On that same day, Tish James gets a $10 million allowance from the state of New York
Yeah.
for a criminal defense. Now, listen, I was a criminal. I'm not let's put it this way. The pieces, when you put them together, there's something very dirty there. There's something very, very corrupt there.
So you're saying it looks fishy?
It is fishy. It doesn't
No,
look
I'm
fishy.
kidding.
It is
Yes.
fishy.
Yes, it is fishy. So they get the $483,000. The money is coming into the law firm that Bill Hochul is at. Okay, from Tish James's office. Tish James gets in trouble with the work you exposed.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, here comes this giant thing in the budget, $10 million bucks for Tish James to defend herself.
One back scratches the other. The problem in New York is that we have a corrupt one-party state.
Okay.
I'm a Democrat, and I don't like what's happening.
So what
our
has to
party.
happen here? We got about 20 seconds left. What would be the next evolution in looking into this?
Well, the
specific
thing
case?
is, we peel at the layers when we do forensic accounting work. We keep on looking at the same things over and over again, things we might have missed, but also we expand out the scope. Right now, I'm looking into Hochul's dealings with Tish James.
Okay. Keep at it.
Thank you.
Kind of just, politicians being dirty politicians. That's what it smells like. All right.
Yeah, but they make life exciting.
I guess they do. They give us something to talk about. I have a job.
I'm not even going to go into all of what he said for the simple fact of I can't explain it like he did. Forensic accounting is fascinating to me. I would love to have a couple of forensic accountants on staff when I get going the way that I want to get going because it would be wild to me to dig into the accounts of different states and everything like that because you never know what you'll find. Because there's so much corruption that we never see, and it seems to be like these little things here and there, things that most of us wouldn't notice, but a forensic accountant can. And the state of New York has been nothing but corruption for a long time. I remember the first time I had heard a little bit about it in history class, whatnot. But the first time I really heard anything about the corruption was listening to a friend of mine who had been a state trooper up around a place called Salamanca, somewhere near one of the Indian tribes up there. And he was talking about some of the things that he saw as a state trooper. this state really is so far corrupt that you could literally start probably in the 1800s and just keep finding corruption that's never been covered. But these are the people that kept attacking Trump. And these are people that are running a state into the ground with the way that they are spending tax dollars. And I hope that someday some serious comeuppance will happen because this does not need to happen to the taxpayers of the state of New York. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.